Hi, I'm Sam Horn, and welcome to What Is Your Pregame, a show full of flavor and with a little twist. We're going to bring you up close and personal with some of your favorite CEOs, celebrities, and athletes to find out who has the high-performance recipe for success. Here's what's coming up next.
If it's an important show, I'll just write a list, I'll crumple it up, and throw it in the trash.
It's a great exercise of the mind for the listener to use your imagination. And so we try to be as descriptive as possible.
And I'll tell you, once I started coaching, I had way more fun on this side of the fence than I did as a player.
Welcome to What Is Your Pregame. I'm your host, Sam Horn, and on today's show, we take a look, or better yet, a listen to some of the familiar voices around town. We join Boston comedian Jim McHugh at Del Fresco's as he talks about his pregame, or in his words, anti-pregame. Later, we followed him to WAAF as he promotes his upcoming shows, in which, of course, we'll be there too. You all know his voice, Joe Castiglione from the Red Sox radio, as he joined us to talk about painting a picture and the pregame steps that he takes and teaches. Later on, we have catching coordinator Chad Epperson as he shares his call to the show, and then we wrap it up with our fan of the week. So sit back and relax as we bring you What Is Your Pregame. First up, here at Del Fresco's, comedian Jim McHugh. All right, welcome back to What Is Your Pregame, hanging out with Jim McHugh. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
All right, we're not all about jokes here on What Is Your Pregame, but you're a comedian.
I'm a comedian.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I tried a million jobs, and I was horrible at all of them. So now my job is to make fun of people who actually have jobs. So that's
For us, especially being an athlete, we have tough times. To have a tough time out on the stage as a comedian, tell us. I'm sure everyone.
well. I'll tell you. My analogy is I always say stand-up comedians are like hockey players. Neither one of us ever know when we're coming back with our own teeth.
Oh.
You know what I mean? It keeps you humble, keeps you friendly. You're always going to shake because okay, that didn't go so well, you know?
Well, about sports and even maybe being a comedian, it's about repetition, correct?
Yes.
How do you get a bad joke to become a good joke?
Well, you do a joke, and in your heart of hearts, you think it's something funny, and you do it, and there's 300 people that disagree with you. So, the saying is you hear crickets, which is a bad thing, right? So now the next day, hopefully you've been doing it long enough, you have another funny joke right after that to recover from that. And then you say, what did I do wrong? Is it the timing of the joke? Is it where the punchline is? And sometimes you go, that just wasn't funny. I'm never doing that again. You can put a gun to my head, I'm never trying that joke or non-joke again, you know what I mean?
Well, you being a comedian, you say you've been in a lot of places. Where's your favorite place that you have performed?
The favorite thing for me has always been entertaining the troops. Because it's...
I hate to stop you there. Where have you been to entertain the troops? You say
well, I started, Clinton was president. I went to LA to the Improv, famous club, and I'm hoping I'm gonna get an agent or a manager, and this guy books me to go to Bosnia. So who knows, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I got discovered to do, so that's what I did. And it changed my life because I got to meet and see all these people that are, giving up so much for us. And, their laughs are so much more valuable than, just, not that, they just are. Because you know what? You're bringing a little bit of home to them, and it's wonderful. You're in this strange place with people that are sticking their neck out. Even if they're not in a war zone, they're not with their families on Christmas or in, St. Patrick's Day or whatever it is. They're not home with their people. And they're doing that for us, and especially for comedians, because their freedom of speech happens to be a very big part of comedy. So that's my favorite thing.
Tell us, in your preparation for your show or what have you, what do you do?
Well, I'm much different than an athlete. I mean, I have to just be on stage to prepare. I can't prepare before a live. You have to have a live audience to practice. All I'll do, if I'm going to do a show this weekend, if it's an important show, I'll just write a list. I'll crumple it up, and throw it in the trash. It's almost a superstition more than anything.
Well, oh, so you got a little like routine that you have to do?
I don't have to, but if it's, I don't always do it, but
it's in
sometimes
your
if I have to do a 45-minute show, I'll write down a set list, because I work off the audience, and I don't even want to know what they do or what they, in advance, because it's funnier if it's spontaneous.
Right.
So a lot of times my preparation is kind of anti-prep.
So if one of our viewers wanted to follow in your footsteps, I hear that they even have courses in college now to be a comedian.
Yes.
What is that like?
I just had a guy in the audience recently. I asked him what he does for a living. He says he's a college student. I said, what do you study? He says, stand-up comedy. I said, well, we used to have to flunk out of college to go into stand-up comedy. We didn't pay. Imagine your parents paying for you to become a comedian. That's what come
That's
on.
funny within itself,
That's
huh?
insane. That's insane. Because the way you learn comedy, in my opinion, is you go out and you do it. You learn it. You do 5 minutes. You get funny for 5, then 10, then 15, and you get to where you can actually have enough funny stuff to get paid for it. And then you always evolve. You're always taking out bad stuff and adding in new stuff, and it's like making stew, and you just keep building an act.
So we know that you're going to be over performing at Giggles this Saturday. Are you really funny?
Well, we're gonna find out.
He said
If
it
not,
best.
I'll pay for the pizza.
All right, or the steak here at Del Fresco's. We're gonna really go find out over at Giggles if Jim can make us laugh. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Swinging a ground ball, stabbed by Folk. He underhands to first, and the Red Sox are the world champions.
Nestled in the mountains of Stowe, Vermont, experience the rich family history the Trapp Family Lodge has to offer. Enjoy fresh food, scenic views, or just come by and relax at the beer hall with a beer that's above the rest. I think Sam says it the best.
I'm Sam Von Trapp here at the Trapp Family Lodge. You too can come here and enjoy a little bit of Austria and a lot of Vermont.
For more, visit trappfamily.com.
JP Fuji Group is the largest operating Pan-Asian restaurant group in the Metro Boston area, with 10 varying concepts including fine dining and fast casual atmospheres. Guests of any JP Fuji Group establishment can always expect the highest quality ingredients, innovative menus, and superior customer service.
I want to give them a present. I want to give them a gift, and I love doing what I do. Nothing beats that feeling of give people something. I hope they can taste the love that I put on every single dish.
Hi, I'm Sam Horn, and I'm here to tell you about a great new cutting-edge technology that utilizes 15 years of research done by Lavoie Industries. Their team has developed a military-grade optical sensor used by firefighters, police, and other safety officers dedicated to saving lives. This device helps to navigate through burning buildings quickly, accurately, and most of all, safely. Smoke Eye, a vision that saves lives. Looking for one of the best steakhouses in Boston? A place to mingle and socialize. Hang out before and after the game? Well, Del Fresco's is the place to be. Award-winning wines, great spirits, fresh seafood, and the home of the Double Eagle steak. When you're looking to outlast your opponent, it all starts with your pregame. Del Fresco's Steakhouse, for when you want to be on top of your game.
Hi, I'm comedian Jim McHugh, and whenever I'm in Boston, I hang out with Sam Horn, and I don't think he's too happy about it. What is your pregame?
Welcome back. Next up, someone you might not even recognize out on the street, but you heard his voice all over your radio. For the last 35 years, he's been bringing you the Red Sox call. None other than Joe Castiglione. Let's listen in. Take it away, Joe. All right, welcome back to What Is Your Pregame. We're hanging out with one of the greats, Joe Castiglione. How you doing, buddy?
Great to be with you, Sam. We go way back.
Yeah, 36 years and counting. How is it, man? How is it still fun for you?
Oh yeah, it's been a blessing to be in one place that long, especially with a great franchise that has the chance to win every year and create even more excitement, and to be in New England. I've just been so blessed over the years to be able to be here around some great people, some great ball players, and great executives and scouts and all the people around the game that I enjoy so much.
Well, because you're on the radio, it's like we're blind to the game, and you basically paint a picture. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, I think our job is to paint the word picture. I know some announcers that say nothing happens till we say it does on radio because you can't see it. But I think in our case, we try to put the listener in the seat. And so that the listener is watching, and it's a great exercise of the mind for the listener to use your imagination and to picture what's going on. And so we try to be as descriptive as possible in only a few seconds because it doesn't take place very long to develop.
In my job, I say, well, hey, that was a good day, or I like this. What's your favorite call? Do you have one of those?
Swinging a ground ball, stabbed by Folk, he underhands to first, and the Red Sox are the world champions.
Oh, so that's when they got one of these, huh? Yes.
Yeah, that was number one. I mean, it's a simple ground ball to the pitcher, but there have been so many thrilling moments over the years you can think of. The Poppy walk-offs, Mo Vaughn's walk-off opening day here against Seattle. And of course, one of my favorites was Sam Horn hitting one into the Tangerine Bowl in Orlando.
How far would you guesstimate that ball was?
I would guess about 550.
Yeah, okay.
That sound right?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
You needed elevation, too. That's a high.
And it was a line drive.
Yeah.
And people talk about 500 footers. I think I could hopefully say that you at least seen that one.
I did. Called it.
The name of our show is What is Your Pregame? What is the pregame prep that you go through before a game?
Well, yeah, I've taught broadcasting in Northeastern for 29 years, and I always tell my students you prepare a lifetime to do baseball.
Right.
And that means whether you're collecting baseball cards as a kid, playing as long as you can, and my ability is to let me play very far. So I knew at a young age to be a broadcaster, to read all you can about the history of the game, and then on a daily basis, to keep up every day with the day-to-day activities in baseball. So you have the broad understanding, you know how today's game fits into the whole scheme of baseball history. And because everything in baseball is like a pyramid, what happens today is built on what happened yesterday and the day before and the week before and the year before and the decade and on and on. So I think that's really critical to be on top of everything in the game and to do your preparation. When I get to the park, we tape a manager's pregame show every day, but the time before the game is my time to just mix with players and listen. Not so much ask questions, but listen for comments, listen for stories, anecdotes. I mean, it's not going to be earth-shattering breaking news type of thing, but interesting personal anecdotes to try to personalize players, to get to know them and to be familiar with their backgrounds. And so I think you're always doing that. And then when we go up to the broadcast booth, you fill out the lineup card, go over the stats and the notes. And also during the pregame dining period, it's a chance to sit with scouts and to learn what they are seeing. And they learn from us what we have seen. And it's a constant exchange of information. And that's a fun part of the game, the personalities and exchanging the info.
All right, well, we'd like to say a special thanks to the voice of the Red Sox. 36 years, Joe Castiglione. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you. I'm glad I got to see you play, Sam.
All right. You've been watching What is Your Pregame? We'll be right back after this. Looking for one of the best steakhouses in Boston? A place to mingle and socialize. Hang out before and after the game? Well, Del Fresco's is the place to be. Award-winning wines, great spirits, fresh seafood, and the home of the Double Eagle steak. When you're looking to outlast your opponent, it all starts with your pregame. Del Fresco Steakhouse, for when you want to be on top of your game. Pow! Heavy meal, light snack, workout, meditation. Pre-games can make or break your day. It's very important to find out what is the right recipe for success.
Cereal. Cereal is...
Cereal? Here on What is Your Pregame, we find out what works best for your favorite athletes, celebrities, and CEOs.
A lot of visualization before I go out.
What is Your Pregame? Saturday mornings at 11, only on NBC Sports, Boston.
What's the value of capital? Well, what's it cost to modernize a school district? What's critical thinking worth? A basketball costs about $14. What does it cost to build a new sports arena? What's team spirit worth? At telecommunications system isn't cheap. What's it worth to talk to your mom? What's the value of one more tree, a forest, a walk in the woods? What's the value of art? Art open to the public. The value of capital is to create not just wealth, but things that matter. Morgan Stanley, capital creates change.
Joe Castiglione here, Red Sox Radio. For 36 years, I've had the pleasure of knowing Sam Horn. What is your pregame?
Welcome back. Call to the show. Usually that's someone that had the opportunity to get the call to the show. But Chad Epperson, catching coordinator of the Boston Red Sox, it was a whole different picture. Let's listen in and catch up with Chad Epperson. So tell me, what are your duties? I know you work with the catchers, but are you physically out there working with them? Are you working with them mentally, or how do you help their game?
Both. There's a good mixture of both. I mean, obviously the fundamental side is the main side that I focus in on, but you know, we have a mental skills department now that really help, and we'll tag team, you know, the guy if there's some mental things going on. But you know, just the mental part for us is like being prepared, you know, to go into the game calling, knowing the pitcher's strengths, trying to get these guys to understand the importance of every pitch, that every pitch matters, because obviously when you get to this level, it does.
We all got that call when we were in the minors and everything, coming to the show. Tell us, what was that call like to the show?
My phone never rings, Sam, as a player.
I took that for granted, dog. I'm sorry.
No, I was in there 10 years of minor league baseball, and you know, just never rang. A lot of people did.
Well, we're gonna laugh that one off, and I guess that was my mistake. But hey, you're in the show now, so you still got the call to the show. What was it like getting a call to be a coach in the show?
It's awesome. You know, I mean, you know, to work with these guys in an organization, you know, that is the history of this organization, one of the richest in franchise in all the sports. It's awesome, and you know, to come here and you know, continue to work with these guys. I mean, you pinch yourself sometimes, but it's great. I mean, it's great. It's a lot of fun.
All right, Chad, so let me ask you a question. Do you miss the game? Do you actually miss the game as far as playing it, or you're close enough where you're still involved and you feel like you're right there in the game, so to speak?
You know, I do miss it. I think we always were going to want to play the game, but I think as you get into it, and I'll tell you, once I started coaching, I had way more fun on this side of the fence than I did as a player, you know?
Oh, man.
So I've always, and that stuck with me, you know, and it's still to this day. I mean, I love going out, throwing the ball around. I haven't taken a swing, and I can't tell you how long, you know, fungos, obviously, but I mean, so, you know, I can tell just by the way I shag sometimes, it's way gone. But I'm blessed to be around the game. You know, I never in a million years thought that I would be in the game this long, but very blessed for it, and I hope to be for the rest of my life.
Call to the show is brought to you by the Wetzel Group at Morgan Stanley. Contact Todd Wetzel, financial advisor of the Wetzel Group at Morgan Stanley at 508-870-7025 to learn more about how his team can help you with your investment needs. With the show getting closer, Jim headed to WAAF to talk about our interview earlier in the day.
I'd like to welcome to the studio for this very special For You. I'm going to call it For You with Jim McHugh. Hello, Jim. How are you, buddy?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Jim McHugh, comedian extraordinaire, the president, the founder, the CEO, the head cheese of the Boston Comedy Festival.
Many of those things, yes.
And you come bearing cameras from NBC Sports Boston.
Isn't this exciting?
Jim, why are the cameras trailing you around? Are they doing a documentary about you?
Well, I was interviewed by the mighty Sam Horn today.
Oh.
And they have a show that's called What is Your Pregame? And they want to know, what does a comedian have to do to pregame his game?
I love it.
Which is weird because I'm really trying to think of post game now. Like, how am I going to save my career and get out of this with a home? I waited much too long to make it, and post game is my concern.
Yeah, we're more worried about the post game.
That's very interesting, though. Like, I love the entire idea because
It's a really
so many
cool idea.
different kinds of people get ready in so many different ways.
Right.
Some people meditate. Some people like to get in physical reps. Some people, intense exercise. So, what is
Right.
your pregame?
My pregame is I go around and do as many. The more stand-up you do, the funnier you are. And if you have a big gap in between times you do stand-up, then you're horribly rusty and people hurl things at you and hate you.
We
So
were
you
just talking
keep
about
going.
Yeah.
we were just talking about that with Erica Rhodes, who's headlining Laugh Boston tonight. We're asking her how many
great.
times a week. Yeah, Pride of Newton. How many times a week do you get up? Do you need to be? She's like, if I go longer than 3 days, I get itchy, I get antsy.
Yeah.
She's like, what'd she say? At least 5 times a week?
Yeah, 5 times she goes up minimum.
I'm in absolute agreement with you.
So you have a show coming up, Giggles?
Giggles, yeah, this Saturday, and these fine gentlemen with the cameras are going up there to capture me, hopefully be very funny.
Special guest that's going to come out tonight. This guy right here is he's in the Boston Comedy Festival, and he's a favorite here at Giggles. Give it up for the very funny Jim McHugh.
I'm in a good mood. I just lost 68 pounds. Thank you. I've been stalking a jogger. What's your name?
Jim.
Jim, what do you do?
I make signs.
You make signs for the government? No. For anyone that needs them. You can make that sign. I don't want to rain on your parade, but they already had someone that made that sign. You gotta work on that sales. You gotta work on that sales pitch just a little bit. You can make it better. Okay, well, why don't you just say you're unemployed? Do you know how to fix things?
I do.
I don't. My wife watches HGTV. Who watches that? Home and Garden Television, yeah. My wife hits me, guys, back me up. Some of that stuff doesn't even make, I don't even know what they're talking about. They had a show that my wife watches, and then she comes up to me and she says, we need to make the front of our house more welcoming. Ladies, us guys don't want people to feel welcome to come to our house. We don't want our family to feel welcome. We sure as want your family to feel welcome. This guy tweeted me, said, I went to your YouTube account, and I just want to tell you I think you're hilarious and sexy. So I tweeted him back, and I said, well, thanks. I've been married for 11 years, but I'll take a compliment anywhere I can get one, you know? So then he tweets me back, and he says, if you ever come down to Atlanta, I want to take you out for drinks. And my wife, you know, when I told her what happened, she says, I don't think it's appropriate that once you told this guy you're married that he keeps hitting on you. And I said, look, we've been married for 11 years. You never tell me I'm funny or sexy. I'm keeping this guy. All right, I'm Jim McHugh. You guys are great. Thank you very much.
Nestled in the mountains of Stowe, Vermont, experience the rich family history the Trapp Family Lodge has to offer. Enjoy fresh food, scenic views, or just come by and relax at the beer hall with a beer that's above the rest. I think Sam says it the best.
I'm Sam Von Trapp here at the Trapp Family Lodge. You too can come here and enjoy a little bit of Austria and a lot of Vermont.
For more, visit trappfamily.com.
We're drowning in information. Where in all of this is the stuff that matters? The stakes are so high. Your finances, your future. How do you solve this? You don't. You partner with a firm that advises governments in the Fortune 500 and can deliver insight person to person on what matters to you. Morgan Stanley.
JP Fuji Group is the largest operating Pan-Asian restaurant group in the Metro Boston area, with 10 varying concepts including fine dining and fast casual atmospheres. Guests of any JP Fuji Group establishment can always expect the highest quality ingredients, innovative menus, and superior customer service.
I want to give them a present. I want to give them a gift, and I love doing what I do. Nothing beats that feeling of give people something. I hope they can taste the love that I put on every single dish.
I'm Chad Epperson here in Boston. Whether I'm catching or whether I'm coaching, I'm hanging out here with Sam Horn. What is your pregame?
Before we wrap it up, we're going to hit the streets to find our fan of the week. Victoria, take it away.
Welcome back to What Is Your Pregame? We're out here at Fenway Park. I found some guys that came in from Philly. Yeah. They're going to go to the game tonight, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you're a
chef,
and there's a little secret about that. What did you do before?
So I used to be the chef and nutritionist for the Atlanta Braves.
The Atlanta Braves?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So they're going to play a game against the Red Sox. What would you have the team eating as a nutritionist?
So we definitely pump them full of good carbs. We get them, some fresh vegetables, potatoes, rice, lean proteins, healthy foods, not pizza.
Okay, great. What about you personally? You've got a big day. You're a chef, or when you were working for the Braves. How did you get yourself prepared for your day?
I usually follow the same regimen. I'm just kind of an hour ahead, so I'll be eating before them, get their meals ready. Same exact food, same nutrition, same everything.
And where are you now cooking? Where are you chef?
I own my own company, actually. I do healthy prepared meals, P3 Nutrition.
And tell us about that.
So we do prepared packaged meals just west of Philadelphia, 45 minutes outside of the city. Basically, the way it works is you order your food, and we deliver to you on Sunday, either to one of our drop-off locations or to your house.
Well, you all look like you're doing really well eating Power Plant Prep. So when you come to Boston, please let me know.
I will.
You're watching What Is Your Pregame?
All right, and that's it for today's show. I'd like to thank our guests, Jim, Joe, and Chad, for coming on, along with our sponsors, Del Fresco Steakhouse, the Fuji Group, the Wetzel Group, and Von Trapp Brewery. And lastly, we'd like to thank you, the viewers, for watching. You can always check us out on whatisyourpregame.com and other social media. I'm Sam Horn. I'm your host. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank you to the folks at NBC Sports Boston shooting here. As you can see, Nick and I are very telegenic.
Thank you, WAAF, for rocking our world today.
Maybe I should do a little drilling down.
No.
A little drilling down.
Nick, guys, stop
what's a
with
History
that
Channel?
camera.
Yeah,
I
was just saying hi to Felder. I worked there a couple years ago.
I just host a show for History Channel.
Yeah, it's no big deal. Yeah, hey, who over there has a new show on Discovery Channel?